Hello watchers and dear subscribers, welcome back to first part of converting text to speech conversion. Now in this video I will show you the demonstration, what codes or what algorithm you have to apply in order to convert text into voice, or you can say text to speech conversion in our Android operating system. Now let's proceed. Now these are the languages that can be supported by your device to convert a text into speech. You can allow the Android operating system, or you can allow your application to convert text into speech using the US accent, or if the language is French, then you can use the French language. Similarly, German, Italian, Japanese and Chinese. You can convert text into speech by using the accent of all these languages, which means your Android operating system supports all these languages. Now let's check out what are the few constants that are very useful and that we are going to see while we write the codes of text to speech conversion. Now these are the data direct from developers.android.com. Now guys, there are lots of constants. We are going to discuss the most important ones. The first is the int error. Now this int error constant can be used to check if whether there is an operation failure or not. Now if there is an operation failure, then we have to handle the exception. Fine. Now similarly, language available or not. Now in the previous slide, whatever languages I showed you, it is not compulsory that it will be available in all the Android devices available throughout the world. So in case the language is not available, then we have to handle the exception. Fine. Similarly, language not supported by a device. Now suppose if you are in USA and sometimes it may happen that out of 1 lakh devices, one device is there which do not support the US accent. It may happen guys, so in that case also again we have to handle the exception. Now language missing data. If some data of the text that we have to convert into text into speech is missing, then again in that case let's handle the exception. Next comes the queue flush. Now this queue flush implies, now suppose user press a button to convert a text into speech. Now suppose your Android operating system is in the process to convert text into speech, and at the meantime, if user presses a button again to convert another text into speech, then in that case what is going to happen? This queue flush integer constant will help us to flush out the previous text which was in the process to be converted into the speech, and the new text will be added for the process of conversion of text into speech. Now at last there is an int success which will help us to know whether our operation is successful or not. If successful, then please proceed, otherwise handle the error, right? If you are not able to get what all these constants stand for as of now, then please don't worry about it. We will discuss each and everything in detail when we will start our coding in the next video. Now let's check out what are the algorithm that we are going to use. Now here, to make the scenario more clear, I have divided the coding portion into the 3 modules. Now the first module is a very small module which implies initialization of text to speech object of the text to speech class, which is globally defined, which means above the onCreate method, or you can say inside your main activity. Now the second module is the onCreate method. Few codes will add here, and at last onClick method is our third module. So when the user will click on this button, then this module will be executed. Now let's check out. The first module is quite clear. We have to define a text to speech class and we have to initialize an object, or you can say declare an object of this class. Fine. Now inside the onCreate we have to initialize this text to speech object. TTS object equal to new text to speech. This is the syntax, which is a general syntax in Java to initialize any object, right? Now inside the parameter, this is a constructor. Now we are having 2 parameters. The first parameter is actually the context of the activity in which the onCreate is available. So main activity.this. Fine. Now the second parameter is actually the listener. Now guys, it is similar to the initialization of the onClick listener that we saw in our third method of button onClick listener. Similarly, this text to speech is also having a listener. That listener is actually text to speech dot onInit listener. So this onInit listener is the name of the listener that text to speech class is having. Fine. Now this is actually an interface, so this interface must contain at least one method that we have to override here. Now that method is actually known as onInit method, which is having a parameter int status. Fine. Now it is actually similar to button. Like in buttons, we have to override onClick method. Similarly for onInit listener, we have to override onInit method having the parameter an integer. Fine. Now inside the onInit method we have to set the language, which means we have to set the accent, whether we want to translate and text into the UK accent, or you can say Chinese, Japanese, Italian, whatever language we want to translate, we have to mention here. Fine. Now this is all about our second module. Now our third module. Now before third module, I would like to say you something. In Android it is very easy to write the codes, but it is very difficult to make your application stable, so that even in the worst scenario your application should not crash. So for that we use what? Event handling. Now here I have used a simple handling process, if and else. You can write try, catch, throw, finally, whatever you are comfortable with. Here I have used if else statement. Now if there is some missing data or the language is missing, then in that case handle the error. Else if everything is going fine, then in that case we have to write a simple statement to convert text into speech. Now tts object dot speak. Now inside we are having three parameters. The first two parameter is quite important. The first parameter is the text that has to be converted from text into speech, right? So this is our string variable text, right? Now the second parameter is actually text to speech dot qflush. Now this qflush, guys, let's go back. Now this qflush is actually what? As I told you, if there is some other text in the process of being converted into the text into speech, in that case the first text will be flushed out and the new text that we can see here, this one, will be added for the process of conversion into text into speech. So the old text will be replaced by this new text, right? So in this way we have to first define the text to speech object globally, then after that inside the onCreate we have to write the onInit listener, and we have to override the onInit method, and inside this method we have to set the language. After that inside the onClick method, that is inside the button listener, we have to check if there is some exception, then handle that. Else if everything is right, then finally convert text into speech. I'm really sorry guys, I just forgot to show you one thing. Inside the onInit method we have to check the condition. If the status is a success, then only set the language to whatever language we want to, else handle the error. So this was only if else statement that I missed out, and rest of the stuff remains the same. So in this way our algorithm is over. In the next video I am going to show you the codes in action. So meanwhile, if you like what you saw, please subscribe to my channel, and guys, don't forget to comment below my video. It is really very important that you leave a comment below my video. We need your immense support to grow. So till then, stay tuned and thanks for watching. Have a good day.